In this tutorial, I will show you how to add a timer that starts at a number you set and then counts down to 0 1 second at a time. And when it gets to 0, if the sprite you have moving through the maze does not reach the end, then "You Lose" will show. So first we will make the timer, and we'll go to Events, which is already active. And I'm going to add when flag is clicked so that our timer will start when the flag is clicked. Next, the timer itself is a variable. So you'll need to go to Variables and make a variable. I'm going to name it Time and click OK. And now when the flag is clicked, we're going to set time. You need to change this to time to a certain number. Let's just use 5 seconds for testing purposes. So we're going to start with 5 seconds, and we're going to change time by -1 every second, which is under Control. So we'll go to Control, and it's wait 1 second. So we're going to change time by -1, wait 1 second, and then repeat, which would be a forever block. However, this code alone right here would have the timer counting down by by 1 forever to infinity. So what we need to do is put in an if statement that says if the timer is 0 and we're not touching the end of our maze, then do something else, which in this case will be broadcast Bear Creek Rules, which is what causes our "You Lose" to show. So we're going to go into Operators, and we're going to say, let's see, we'll put this "and" in, because then we're going to put an equals on top of the left side. So if time equals 0, and here we're going to need a not, and not touching sprite 2, then do this. To fill in this oval, we have to go back to Variables and drag time in. You cannot simply type in there. You have to actually drag the name of the variable in. Let's put 0 in there. And now not touching sprite 2, that's a sensing block. So it's touching mouse pointer over here, but when we drag it in, we can change it. And we'll move some things around here. And not touching end, which is sprite 2. I could rename that sprite so that it says end. So here's what we have. Time is going to start at 5, count down by 1. If time equals 0 and it's not, and the ball or this sprite is not touching sprite 2 or the end, we're going to broadcast Bear Creek Rules, which we just made up to show you that it's not about what you type in there, it's what this activates. So let's try it. Let's test it. And by the way, you can move variables around anywhere. So I'm going to put it right there. Let's hit stop, click the green flag. Time counts down to 0. And it says "You lose." Now I'm going to change the time. Let's start with 10 seconds so that I have enough time. And I'm not actually going to move through the maze. I'm going to cheat by dragging the ball to here. And then I'm going to move over to, or use the arrow keys to actually complete the maze. So I'm going to click and drag just to demonstrate that when we get to end, it will show "You win." And the timer stops. the timer did not stop when it got to 0, well, actually, even if it got to 0, you win would still be there, and you lose would not show because we are touching sprite 2. So there you have it. That's how you add a timer so that if you don't reach the end of your maze in a specified amount of time, you lose.